Hello, 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 it's Rita from the Arty Art Studio. Today we are going to paint some beautiful pink tulips. Pink is my favourite colour. Tulips come in all different colours, but I really wanted to paint them in pink. So today we are going to paint these tulips together. So let's begin. Place these tulips around the page. I'm using my size 10 Aqua Elite Princeton brush. I'm taking a light wash of permanent rose and I'm just making these curved shapes to form a bulb shape of the tulip, and adding a little bit of the frills on the top. And I'm then I'm going to take some darker hue of the colour and just adding it around the bottom and the edges and the top of the tulip, just to give it some depth. Just building up the colour here, just adding it around the fold of the petals and just moving the colour around. So just play around with it and see how you get along. Just keep building on it. Again, I'm adding a bit more of a darker hue of the permanent rose, because as you know, with watercolour you can go from light to dark, but you cannot go from dark to light. So just build on these colours. Don't go full in with a dark hue. So I'm going to go around the page and I'm going to place these tulip bulbs all around the page, and I'll be back. So I did decide to add a few more tulip bulbs on my painting from the original picture I showed you. Now I'm going to add some stems, and I'm using Sap Green. I'm just using the tip of my brush and bringing the stems down. You can make them thicker, slightly thicker, and just pull all the stems down to the bottom. And then you can add a bit of a darker pigment as you build on these. Just using the tip and bringing them down. All the way. Just see where the center of the tulip is and just bring it straight down. Because you don't want them floating about on the page, do you? You want them to look as if they're coming down and meeting at a point. Then I'm going to add some long leaves to the tulips. I'm using Sap Green again. You can wiggle your brush a little bit and darken the bottom of the leaves. They've got long floppy leaves, so you can place them wherever you want on your piece. I'm adding a darker hue of the colour on one side of the petals just to give it some depth, and just building on the leaves all around. So I'm gonna do that and I'll be back. I'm just adding some darker pigment to the bottom of the leaves and the sides of the leaves just to give it some depth and make it pop a little bit. You can use any shade of green that you like. I'm using Perylene Green here. And just go around the leaves and see where you feel you need a bit of shadow, a bit of darkness, maybe right underneath where a tulip is, like the middle one, adding a bit more shadow there because the tulip is in front and the leaf is behind. So you want to add a bit of shadow there. Now I'm going to take my permanent rose and I am going to add more depth to these tulips. So I'm taking a darker pigment of the colour. I am washing my brush, dabbing it on my paper towel, and I am just spreading the paint around, just blending it in to ensure that it's darker at the bottom and lighter in the middle of the tulip. Just go around your tulip, taking a bit of a darker pigment, washing your brush, dabbing it on the paper towel, and building this up until you feel, okay, The shadows are where they should be, and the tulip is having some depth and dimension. So I'm going to go around and do this to all the tulips now. So here's my tulips all done. I've just added a darker pigment here and there where I felt it needed it, to give them dimension and make them pop a little bit. So here you are, tulips are done. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you learned something from this and you'll create your own version of tulips. If you do have any questions, please pop them down below and I will try and answer them as best as I can. But thank you for watching.